What's up, all you cool kids? This is Daisy Collins of TsunamiRose.net coming at you live from my craft room here in Las Vegas, Nevada. As I do, you guys, Monday through Friday, bringing you junk journal content pretty much every single day. You guys, thank you so much for joining me today on I'm on a book page pocket creating Christmas themed adventure. And today's pocket is inspired or was instructed by Shabby Doodah on YouTube. And I believe she also has an Etsy shop. She used her wonderful printable designs on her pocket. I will be linking her channel if you don't know of her. Everybody pretty much knows of her. If you don't know of her, I'll leave her link in the description box below so you guys can check her out. Just so you know, that's where I saw it. I don't know if she's the first one to make it, but that's where I saw the video on how to make it today. So, kudos to her. So, what I'm going to be doing is making a double pocket. And it is a pretty large pocket. Of course, I think you can pretty much make this any size you wanted to. I didn't even make the size that she did. So, I know she made hers even bigger. So it has this nice deep pocket in the back, and it has another pocket in the front. And if I wanted to, I could have made this into a pocket as well, but I didn't use cardstock. This is on printer paper. I am using my pink Christmas, one of my pink Christmas scrapbook page or junk journal page printables, so that it has kind of like a pink Christmas theme, which is what I have been releasing lately. Hi, how are you, girl? So that is what I'm going to be making today. I do craft for about an hour, pretty much doing the same thing over and over. And I appreciate y'all chatting with me and keeping me company. However, if you're just here for the tutorial, I do that really fast in the beginning of all my videos. And then, like I said, I pretty much just repeat it throughout the whole week, throughout the whole hour, and I just hang out and we chit chat and whatnot. So I'm going to be using up the pages of a music sheet book. It was a small book. This is exactly how tall it was. So that's, how tall is it? Let's see, it's 6.5 inches tall. So that is the size of my pocket, 6.5 inches tall, which is pretty much the maximum size I would make a pocket. This is just huge. But I thought it'd be fun to have a couple here and there. I could always make this in a different size. So anyways, what we're going to be doing is I cut the book pages to the same size. So that way I could have them all uniform. So they are all 4 inches wide. I did cut them down from what the original book page was. And you're going to need 3 book pages to make this. Now these are individual pages here. So nothing is doubled, nothing is glued. So we're going to need some glue. And then, so the first step on the first page is we are going to fold it to a triangle here. And then we are going to fold the second page to another triangle, the top part. Now, she didn't sew hers in this video, but she did talk about sewing it, but she did not sew it in this video. So what you want is you want one of the pages to have the fold going one way and one of the pages to have the fold going the other way. So in this case, I'm going to fold this actually the other way around. And that way, when I turn it over, well, what we're going to do actually, I forgot, is I glue this part here in the middle. My glue dried up on me. Hang on. What happened? My glue dried on me. Okay, hang on. I'm gonna use one glue bottle to unplug the other glue bottle and problem solved. Look at it. Okay. So I'm gonna put the glue here in the middle and then glue that down. And then I'm going to glue this flap down as well. Now, she gives instructions on how to glue and where to glue. Oops, sorry, I touched the camera. However, I decided to sew, so I'm sewing everything. And so now I have them sewed down, not sewed down, glued down. So now what we're going to do is you're going to have 2 little pieces of whatever decorative paper you want. Again, I'm using my pink Christmas pages printables for my shop. You could use whatever theme you want, whatever colors you want. It's up to you. 1 piece has to be, for me anyways, it just depends on where your pockets, how big your pockets are. So for me, basically, I measured from here up to the point right here in the middle. I know it's a little hard to see, but I measured from the top to the middle right here, and that for me is 2 inches. So I have one of these here that is 2 inches. It could be a little bit longer. Basically, when you peek in here into the back, you can see that, you know, it's not glued down all the way, but that's okay with me. I'm fine with that. So I'm going to glue this just here in the middle because I am going to sew around. It is going to get sewed on the top, not the bottom. So we glue that there. The second piece you're going to need to measure is from here to here, so that this fits right here nicely, right there. So we have this nice decorative front. This is going to be the front pocket. And again, I'm going to glue in the middle because I'm going to sew all the way around on the edges. So I don't want to get my sewing machine all gunky. Again, you can make this in all sorts of measurements. You just have to cut these down for your product. I'm doing it a different size than she is, but the method is all still the same. Hi, Miss Gigi. How are you, girl? Okay. So now we have these 3 pieces, right? So now what we're going to do is we're going to get to the sewing machine because there's some things we have to do before we sew it all together to actually be a pocket. So, again, you could glue it. You could follow her Shabby Doodah's instructions on how to glue it because I am showing you how to sew. And she might have a video on how to sew it. I just did not watch it. Go ahead and check her out. Very talented lady. Okay, so let's get this over here. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to zigzag, like on my pocket here. I want to zigzag right here and then all this right here as well. And I'm using a nice pink thread. And I'm going to use a zigzag for this. I changed the length to 2 and the width to a 5. So I'm going to go ahead and sew right there, just like that, so that it goes around the edge. And what I feel that it does. Because again, this is not like been scientifically proven or anything like that. But I feel like when you're using a pocket, you're always grabbing in here, you're always reaching in here. So this right here is going to get used a lot. So in my head, when I sew it right here, it kind of saves this from some impact. Again, that's just my theory. That's just what makes me feel comfortable, so that's what I'm going to do. So now let's zigzag over here. Hi, Beverly. Hello, hello. Okay, so now that we have these 2 sewn together, what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to make a nice stitch right across here. I used this nice decorative stitch that's on my sewing machine. I don't know the name of it, but I sew it. The stitch, I'm going to make it as big and long as possible. And it's still making that like weird sound. I cleaned it last night, and the sound went away for like 5 minutes, but then it came back. Hi, Patricia. What's up, girl? What is up? What is up? Okay, so now that I have that done and this done, I'm going to trim off the threads because they make it a mess to try and sew. The next steps, I do trim. If you can manage to not need to trim, that's great. But I need to trim them. Okay, so now we need to sew it all together. So what I need to do for that, I found that trying to sew this without putting it all together is kind of hard. So I just get a paper clip, just like when you sew real things, real projects like paper, like fabric and stuff. You'd use a pin, but in this instance, I'm going to use a paper clip to kind of keep it together. So that way it doesn't come apart on me when I try and sew. Now I'm going to go in with the straight stitch on default settings. I used to use the longest stitch for straight stitch, but now I've come to like regular straight stitch on default settings. Taste change, taste change. Okay, so now I can sew all the way around. I try and sew closest to the edge as possible. As evenly as I possibly can. Okay. And then of course you gotta take off the paper clip. Do not want to sew over the paper clip now. Trust me. It kind of went off a little bit. I don't know why, but it did. It's okay. It's hard to get all these papers straight together. Okay. Thank you, Patricia. Give me a little thumbs up if you are enjoying the video. And that is our little pocket. That gives you that pocket here. And then also the pocket up here. So you guys, this was fun. Right? I don't have anything that fits in here exactly. Exactly per se right now, but who knows in the future I might. Or I could just put in one of these cards and then you could put in whatever else you want on the back that's of your mementos or whatever. But that is how you make this pocket. And you can either paper clip this onto your page or you could, of course, glue it down to your page. That's why I don't do nothing on the back of it, but you could decorate it if you really wanted to. But yeah, this is a fun little pocket. I'm going to keep making them. Again, these are going to be pink Christmas themed. And I should have printed this out on cardstock, so it would make this a little harder because I don't know if you could tell it's like warping it. So maybe use cardstock. I might recommend you use cardstock for this, but for now that works for me. It just would make it a little bit like stiffer, you know what I mean? But other than that, I think it works fine. I think it works just fine. So let's make a couple more. I actually have to cut the rest of these because I didn't. I did it as always. I didn't actually figure out what I was gonna get on here and make tonight. I knew I had to make a book page envelope because I told you guys I was gonna do that, or pocket. And so I knew I had to do that. So I just, went on little YouTubes and typed in book page pocket, and shabby doodahs looked interesting. So I watched it, and it was an awesome video. Again, I will link her channel and that video in particular in the description below. Okay, so this one goes this way. We want one pocket to go one way and the other one to go the other way. And then I'm going to glue. Oh yeah, I think the pockets, I think they work out really cute. And then with the scrap paper here, you can make them any theme. So that's exciting as well. I like pockets that you can make it in anything. So again, I would use cardstock on the, make sure the paper you're using is cardstock for sure. For sure. So glue that down. I could use a glue stick. She used regular glue. That's why I'm using regular glue. We got our third page, and then I gotta cut the scrapbook paper up. So hang on 1 second. Put this away. I really need to buy blades for my small paper cutter, but this is what I have now. This is what I have for now. And this is already 4 inches, so I need one to be 2. And then one to be 2.5. 2.5. And again, these measurements will only be relevant to my project, really. You can make your project any size you want, and you'll just have to do your own measurements for that. I need to glue one piece to this little flap right here. And I try and keep my glue in the middle because it does get sewn on the sides. Okay. And then the back piece, which is the whole sheet, gets a decorative piece as well. Okay, there we go. So now we are going to start sewing. This one looks cute. The little Santa peeking out. That's adorable. Cindy, is it 1 pocket or 2? It is 2 pockets. It is 2 pockets. This could technically be a pocket if I had made this out of cardstock. This could have totally been another pocket right here. But it is 1 pocket, and then in the back, 2 pockets. So 2 pocket, pocket. Again, if I had made this cardstock, I'd totally make that another pocket. But I didn't. So I must suffer. Okay. And I first started with brown, but then I'm like, you know what? Let's do more pink. I've been doing a lot of like green and reds and black. I'm like, let's do some pink for the pink Christmas pockets. All right. Pedro! It's my friend Pedro. So Pedro is another Las Vegas local artist. And I was introduced. He's my friend from my hometown. Pedro is her friend. It's always fun to hang out with Pedro, though. I don't know why we always end up arguing. I don't know. We just never have the same opinions, but he's cool. It's funny. It's funny. He does awesome paintings. You guys can check him out on Instagram and on Facebook as well. Okay, so I sewed those 2. And I gotta sew this part over here, this part right here. And I'm gonna use a different stitch. Let's spice it up here. Let's use another stitch. You could honestly do this whole thing with straight and zigzag stitches, but let's just mix it up. Let's just mix it up. Oh, you guys, before I forget, I do have a free printable, a free French junk journal printable up in my blog, on my blog, is better. And you guys can check it out, download it, print it, have fun, knock yourselves out. Let me get y'all the link. I do appreciate your guys' support in my store. So I want to give you guys a little freebie there for y'all. So enjoy. Let me see if I can, I need to paper clip this together so I can sew it. Maybe I need to sew it in 2 different spots. Maybe, let's see, because it always moves on me. That's what I don't like. But just slightly, not to the point where I'm like, this is like undoable. Like it's doable. I just have to go a little bit slower, a little bit slower. And we're going to do this with the straight stitch. Okay, closest to the edge, of course. I hope you've been well, Pedro, staying safe, man. Let's see here. Of course, I put all the paper clips on one side, so I don't have to worry about messing up my sewing machine. This one stayed together the best so far. It might be a good idea to maybe glue them around the edge and then sew them like the next day. Just saying. Just saying, just saying. Let's get this right here off. And this way now. All right. Again, I suggest you use cardstock on your pattern pages there. Just because it could really use it, the stability. But it's okay. If you're going to glue this down to a page, it doesn't matter. Again, if you do use a cardstock here, you can even make that into another pocket, which is fun. Pockets are fun, right? Yes, I'm staying safe. My OCD has been in overdrive, but it's worth it. My God, I couldn't agree more, Pedro. Honestly, me too, man. Okay. Okay. This is what I do to calm my anxiety, Pedro, so you're not helping. Okay. So, again, let's do another one. 3 pieces of book page. I think she even used uneven. She used book pages that were still attached. But she said you didn't need to have them attached. That's what she said. And again, I watched a video by Shabby Doodah on how to do this. All credit goes to her. Okay. Gosh, music sheets. I have to look at the letters because I don't know how to read music. So I have to look for the letters to make sure I'm doing it right side up. And then the letters and words are all tiny, of course. So I have to really look at it. Vicky, hi Vicky, and yes, you're welcome, girl. Enjoy. I have some more free printables in the future. So look forward to those. And again, I appreciate y'all's support. Okay, so now I need to cut. Of course, you can sew this all together just like that, you know, just plain paper. But she did this awesome, this is all her idea. Like this whole pocket is her. I didn't come up with anything other than how I stitched it, but I'm sure she has a video on that too, because she talked about stitching something. So I assume she meant you don't need to stitch this pocket. Maybe she showed it before, maybe she showed it in a different video. I really can't recall. But definitely check out our channel. Okay, so I'm gonna take out another sheet from my Pink Christmas journal pages, which is basically just a 8.5 by 11 horizontal pattern page that I collaged. And we're gonna make it 4 inches wide, which is the size of our pocket. Cindy Brown says very pretty and a design I have not seen before. Thank you for sharing this. Thank you, Cindy. Okay. So now I've had it at 4. Now I need to cut one at 2. This is totally overkill for this cutter is totally overkill for this activity right here, but it's okay. It's okay. We love it. We love it anyways. It's okay. I have to buy a new blade for my tiny We Are Memory Keepers cutting board, which I don't mind, because this blade will never dull. That's what they say. That's the conspiracy. But it's just overkill to cut this small piece of paper. You know what I mean? I love it though. I love this cutter. Hi Vicky. Hi Pramita. How are you? So let's cut this to number 4. Pramita is going to be working with my Pink Christmas printables soon. I'm going to send her some stuff to work with, and so you guys can follow her. Check out our channel. I do have her linked in a playlist. I have all my design team members linked in a playlist on my channel. You can watch all their recent videos, keep up with what they're doing, and of course support other female artists. And of course we can all learn from each other. Like I said, I learned how to make these pockets from Shabby Doodah on YouTube, which she is also, I believe she's also a digital designer on Etsy as well. So total props to her. Her stuff is gorgeous. Did I do this wrong? Shoot, I think I glued this the wrong way. Oh, I did this the wrong way. Oh, that's what I get for not paying attention. Okay. Okay, well, don't do what I did, though. Don't do what I did. We could also do this. This would also kind of be the same idea. These are the same size, and then I would just have to cut this one down smaller. Oh my gosh. I mean, that is a thing. That is a thing, right? Yeah, that's a thing. Not what we're trying to do tonight, but you know what? Actually, I don't think. Okay, I'm gonna cheat, and I'm gonna use this anyways because I'm gonna cover this right here, so you can't even tell that it's folded over. Okay, problem solved. Yes, we're gonna fake it. We're gonna fake it, and it's okay. Okay. I was about to have a panic attack. Oh my god. No, we're good. We are good. What was that, y'all? Sorry, like a car stopped abruptly nearby me. I feel like my grandmother, like when I used to stay with my grandma, when I used to go to vacation with my grandmother in Mexico, and I'd stay with her in her village. It's literally a village. It's not like a city. It's not a town. It's a village. And she would always, like, you would hear like like a set of wheels drive by or crunch the earth nearby, and she'd be like, "Oh, that's so and so's truck." Was it? I don't know. That's what she said. That's how I feel lately because my window is right by the parking area. So I always hear wheels and I try to be like, oh, I think that's my husband's wheels. That's our car. I'm doing the same thing she did. Okay, so see how I fixed it there? I folded this flap the wrong way, but I covered this up anyway. So it kind of, it looks the same. Don't tell anyone I made a mistake. Don't tell anybody. Okay, so let's get this. Child, this is hard. They look great. Sometimes people have no idea the amount of effort that goes into these. Thank you, Pedro. It's no large-scale painting like you do, you know? Thank you. Let's see, number 31. Longest, widest setting here. Okay, so that goes there. That looks good to me. This kit reminds me of my childhood Christmas cards. So cute. Thank you, Pramita. You are too kind. You are too kind. Let me get y'all the link to my Pink Christmas section of my store. So y'all can check it out specifically if you're looking for Pink Christmas. I do also just have a regular, well, actually, let me just post the link to the Christmas section of my shop, and then you guys can see the pink Christmas printables that are there. So leave that link. Right there. All those years of being in chat rooms as a teenager paid off because I can type like crazy. Okay, now we're gonna go to Zig Zag Stitch. Oop. I forgot the camera can't see that. Okay, I moved it. I did a thing. Okay, I need Zig Zag Stitch, not straight. Width of 2, length of 5. That's what I'm doing. I'm dropping everything. And I do always make sure that I sew in the same direction. Not that it really makes a big difference, but in my eye, I notice when it's the back of the stitch and when it's the front of the stitch. And of course, the front stitch always looks somehow a lot nicer. So I do always make sure I'm sewing. That's why instead of sewing it like this, or, like this, I sew it like this, so that way the stitch isn't touch. That's just me being picky, though. That's just me. Thank you, Pramita. You're too kind, girl. You are too kind. Too kind, y'all. Y'all are too encouraging. I love it. I love it. And I appreciate it. And I thank you. Okay. So let's do the thing where we put it all together. Like that. Again, you want to use paper clips because they do like to get messed up somehow. I don't know how, but they do it. Okay, so right there. Gotta make sure it's in the right position. I should even get another one, honestly. More paper clips, the better, I think. And I normally do not use paper clips. Y'all know me. I don't normally use paper clips to sew. However, I have found these pockets move around on you. So definitely use paper clips. So I'm going to go ahead and straight stitch this closed. Of course, pay attention to where your paper clips are. Don't sew on your paper clip. And don't blame me if you did, okay? Okay. Okay, don't say I didn't warn you. Okay. So, of course, you want to gauge the strength of your type of book paper. For instance, this book paper on its own is actually pretty nice. You also want to be careful when you use vintage books because some of them are so frail that when you fold them, they just tear, they rip. You know what I mean? Because they're so dry. They're just so dry. I would have nice nails, but this one busted on me. Like, it always happens. I have a whole set of nice nails and then the edge will get messed up on one of them. It just happens. It's just a thing that happens, y'all. And I did not expect to have such long hair by the end of this year. My goodness. My hair is about 1 inch away from my butt, you guys. Honestly, it's crazy. I don't want this hair. I don't want this hair. I really need to cut my hair. It's terrible. It's so long. I just want to shave it off. It's so hard during summer here in Vegas to have long hair. It feels like I'm wearing a helmet most of the time. It's terrible. I know, Patricia, but it's not funny. Send help. Send help. Again. Okay, so again, if I did this over again, I would print this out on cardstock. No, that's number 1. Number 2, if I did print this out on cardstock, I would make it into another pocket. I'd probably punch a hole right here, you know, like a tiny little indent so that you can pull things out of there. That is what I would have done if I did this over again. So just so you know, those are my little tips for that. I think I might have enough time to make maybe one more. Because I can only make like 4 things on here when I go live because I'm talking. It's going a little slow. That's just how it is. Okay, so. Oh, right. I think I'm out of book pages that I cut to size. Okay, so now we got to do that. Now I'm definitely going to only be able to make one more because I got to cut all the book pages too. So I cut off a little edge because I do want them to both be off. I do both want them to have no border here if this side can't have a border. So that's why I cut that off on that side. And then they are 4-inch wide. And that's it. That's all I have to cut. They're all being the same height. And 4-inch. Really don't cut, but style around it. You look like a diva. Yes. I'm totally a diva. Totally a junk journaling diva. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't want to say it, so I'm glad somebody else did, you know. Pramita, you're too much. Thank you, girl. You are too much. But I mean, I'll say it out loud. Like, I am totally the Mariah Carey of junk journaling. Like, I'm sorry, but it's true. I said it. It had to be said. It had to be said, and now everybody knows. Okay. Let's get serious here. Let's get serious. This by 4. Okay, sorry, I can't show y'all exactly what I'm doing. I need one more, and that's it. And actually, I'm going to cut them all because there's enough to make another one. I could do that one after I go live. I do always end up doing like one or two more after I go live. Because I'm always left with some pieces that I gotta work with. Number 5. Okay. There we go. Let's fold it. And so I think I'm going to come back tomorrow for sure. I'm having a lot of fun with these book page projects, and I'm not really making like a abundance of them. So I think it's good to have a couple of different types of varieties of pockets. So tomorrow for sure, if you come back to my channel, I've been going live at 10 p.m. recently. That's just been working for me. So if y'all want to come and join me tomorrow when I go live at 10, you are more than welcome to do so. Also, if you don't, you can always catch the replay here on my channel. I love it, y'all. I've been having a lot of fun with these Christmas junk journals. Even though I haven't made a junk journal yet, but I'm making everything for them. And I can either choose to make junk journals or just sell these as embellishment kits. Either way will work for me. Okay, let me make sure I'm doing this right. Okay, so this time, I suggest you put them like this so you make sure you got one on one side and one on the other. That might have helped me last time, but there is a way to fix it. If you do mess up, it's not the biggest of deals. As you saw, I fixed mine. And you couldn't even tell. You couldn't even tell. Thank you, Pramita. Too kind, too kind. Okay, so these two flaps and this page right here are going to get sewn up. And then I already thought I already had these pieces cut out. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. 2 and 2.5. I think I want to use that one for the 2 because that one is kind of adorable. The 2 goes on the long part. Again, all credit for these book page pockets goes to Scrappy Doodah here on YouTube. Check out our channel. I will leave her link in the description box below after I go live. So y'all can check her out, of course. Okay, so let's get this done. Okay, just like that. Now we got our 3 pieces, and we can get to sewing. I cannot find my mini folding, what is it called? Mini scoreboard. That's what it's called. My mini scoreboard for the life of me. I don't know what I did with it. Otherwise, I'd be using it instead of this big old 12 by 12. I don't know what I did with that mini scoreboard. It is just... And I started cleaning my room, so maybe I'll find it. Okay, this side right here. Okay, and then a blanket stitch right here, number 31 on my sewing machine. Or actually, let me use, it's the one that I call honeycomb. It's this just really cute, almost honeycomb shaped stitch. It's adorable. My machine hates sewing paper. Sue, let me ask you, Sue. Let me ask you the magical question, Sue. When was the last time you did one of 2 things? Okay, there's 2 things you can do. if your machine, well, okay, there's 3 things you can do. 3 things you can do if your sewing machine hates sewing paper, right? Number 1, change your needle. The easiest thing to do besides that, if you want to go to number 2 is clean your sewing machine of lint where you can, which for me is right here. I don't get into the top part of it, but in your bobbin case in here, dust it. Up in here, sorry, my sewing machine's not even on camera. Up in here where you're sewing, where your needle comes up and down, you know, I get my little thing up in here and I try and dust as much as I possibly can, as much as I could possibly dust out. So step 1, let's redo it. Step 1, clean it. Step 2, change your needle. And step 3, if cleaning it and changing your needle don't work, go get it serviced. Go spend $80, get your sewing machine serviced. Tell them the sound that it's making. They've told me before, if your sewing machine has been unused for a while, if you have a sewing machine that somebody gifted you and they haven't used it for a while, that can cause problems because dust gets in your sewing machine. Say it's in the garage, say it's in the attic, dust accumulates and it causes problems for your sewing machine. So definitely clean it, dust it, change the needle. If that doesn't work, then you should definitely think about getting it serviced. It might not be anything you're doing. It might just be your sewing machine is full of dust and you would have no way of knowing. Or your sewing machine needs to be oiled. And if you don't know how to do that, if you're not brave enough to do it, it is totally worth it to have it serviced. I have not really had, how did I mess up that bad? I made it crooked. What happened? What happened, you guys? Okay. It's totally worth it to have your sewing machine serviced. It cost me $80. It might cost you more than that, but it's totally worth it if you want to invest in keeping the sewing machine that you have. Because I have in the past pretty much just like returned the sewing machine because it stopped working. But you know what? I thought about it and I'm like, I'm just going to pay to have it repaired because I need my sewing machine. I love my sewing machine and I don't want to be too wasteful. So I'm going to try and see if I can get it fixed. Sewing machines are luckily something that can be fixed, and not a lot of things can be fixed these days. They don't make a lot of things to be fixed. They make a lot of things that break and you just buy a new one. But sewing machines at a certain price range, of course, are worth fixing and getting an upkeep on it. It's just, I honestly rave about getting my sewing machine serviced because it did such a great job and I'm really happy about it. And of course, they're a local service, local company. Gotta love it. And my sewing machine busted and got fixed before the pandemic. So I'm lucky because I could have gone months without my sewing machine. That would have been terrible. Not that the pandemic wasn't terrible, but, you know, it just would have added on to the horror. To the, what's it called? To the tragedies. Let's just say that. It would have added to the tragedies. That's right. I would have been forced to buy a new one if that had happened. I honestly cannot live without my sewing machine. I cannot. Chris, thanks for the tips. I do like your lives. I am in Michigan and I'm falling asleep. Good night, Chris. Thanks for stopping by. Okay. Oh, you know what else, Sue? Make sure you're using the right bobbin for your sewing machine. I guess, I mean, I'm not like a sewing expert or anything. I mean, my third step of troubleshooting is get help, so I'm obviously not an expert. But also what you could do is double check and make sure that you're using the correct bobbin for your sewing machine. I mean, I didn't know it myself, but I guess sewing machines are a little bit picky. And if you use the wrong bobbin, I guess weird things happen. So best to get like basically the same bobbin that came with the sewing machine. Um, I don't know why. That's just what I've heard. That's what I've heard. To make sure that you have the right bobbin. The needle, of course, I just use a regular needle to sew paper. I don't use anything special or anything like that. Just a regular universal needle. I've tried jean needles in the past before, but it doesn't make a difference. The hole is just bigger. It doesn't do it any better or anything. I've always used a universal needle. So those are my little tips. So you guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned how to make these little pockets. Again, original credit goes to Shelby Duda. Patricia has posted the video link on how to make those pockets per her video, per her instructions, per her better directions, if you guys will. Again, go ahead and check out her video. I'll come back tomorrow with a different book page pocket to make that I was inspired, took the instructions of, and will link to another YouTuber or Pinterest or whatever. I take inspirations from other junk journalers just like you. I don't always have my own original ideas, and that's okay. You guys have a good night. Give me a little thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, if you learned something new, or you know what, give me a little thumbs up if you're having a good day. You guys, thank you so much. Leave me a little comment, and I appreciate your guys' support on my shop. Thank y'all so much. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Check out that free printable. Bye.